All right. Hello, everybody. This is Crispy Cody from the Crispy Reviews podcast. And today we're going to be having an awesome interview with Rebelmatic, lead singer Creature. I'm very excited to have this band on. I recently was given their album ahead of time, Black Hole Eats the Tornado from Say 10 Records. Their release date is going to be this Friday, April the 11th. Creature is actually here with me, and we're going to be doing this interview. I'm very excited. Creature, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful on this Wednesday, right? It's a Wednesday. I don't know what day is it.
It's
Yeah, I'm doing good.
hump day. We're getting through the week, yeah. But you have
Yeah,
a very
dude.
busy schedule coming up soon. Your album is dropping this Friday, and
Yeah.
you're going to be starting tour, I believe, Saturday, right? It's going to be the
Yes,
12th, the
sir.
very next
Yeah,
day. So that's very
absolutely.
big. A lot of things in the
I love
pipeline for you.
I love it. Yeah, it's album comes out Friday, interview today. Tour starts on the 12th and it goes to the 18th. And then we go back, come home for a couple of days, then we go back out from 23rd to the 26th. And then we got stuff in May, a bunch of stuff in May too, and then June too. So it's like, yeah, it's busy. Let's work, you know?
Yes,
I'm
you're ready.
excited.
You got the whole new record, and boy, does this
Oh yeah.
sound amazing! I got to
Thank you.
do a really good review and stuff on it. I got sent the album kind of early, but I've had a lot of life things
Mhm.
going on, so I was listening to it intermittently. But I finally
Yeah.
got around to listening to it cover to cover, and I have to say, it's just a full throttle blast of so many different genres of like punk, soul, funk, and it has so much
Hmm.
grit. 11 tracks that are just a screaming force of nature that just refuse to be ignored. And my friend Creature, I love your voice. Your voice
I
is
appreciate it.
definitely a driving force, especially on some of the tracks, such as like your four recent singles that you released before the record drops this Friday. The
Hmm.
two that I love the most off of those is Help and Forevermore. There's a real
Right.
urgency like in those tracks when you were going
Right.
through and singing those lyrics and stuff. So what were some like emotional or social catalysts behind those songs when you were writing them?
First, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Help. We were just jamming. We were jamming the music in rehearsal, and like I think I might even had the words already. Like before we even had the music, I kind of had the words because I write all the time. I kind of just jot down ideas and stuff, and yeah. And then when the I was kind of orchestrating how I wanted it to be more, ba, 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 da, 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 more as far as the staccato of the drums and like the feel, and that's kind of went. So initially, the chorus just came, just scatting it, ba 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 ba, la 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 la, and then I flicked, the words. I was like, "Help! You said that you would help. I said it all by myself. What am I gonna?"
Yeah.
Coincided with the lyrics that I already had, or the lyrics that was like kind of knitted together. But as far as mindset, I don't know. I guess it was just kind of thinking about loss, frustration, um, a lot of different emotions, and it just kind of came out. It wasn't like overly thought about or like something significant happened. But then after we've had during from the time we started recording the album, writing some of it, we had people who passed away. We had like
Oh
a
man.
lot of loss and then a lot of love. So I think it seeped into the music as well,
Mm,
unbeknownst to us. Not to say we're just kind of like oblivious to it, but it's kind of like
yeah.
everything we go through kind of leaks into our music.
Of
And then
course.
forevermore, yeah, forevermore we had some of the music, and then it was like I was like, yo, it's good, but I need the beginning part, the dun 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 dun
Yes.
dun dun.
How dare you?
Yeah,
How dare you?
yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. So I came up with that. I think I came up with that in the shower. Like I just the lyrics and the beginning, the music of that beginning part. I was like, dun, 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 dun,
Hell
and
yeah.
then I just like I just sent it to the like I beatbox because I don't like everyone in the band plays instruments. I don't really play instruments. I just kind of beatbox ideas and I'll be like, yo, this is the bass line and this is the drive, and then I'll
Yeah,
send it to them and they'll kind of flesh it out. But not to say I write all the music because I don't write all the music. We all write music,
of
but
course.
that specifically for that, like the beginning part I came up with, and exoskeleton
Yeah.
with the elephant.
Bonk.
So that,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just kind of like a real funky drive. It's about a lot of different stuff, man. I kind of like leaving it open for people's interpretation, but at the same time,
That's
it's
cool.
not. But in the same time, it's about always being here
Yeah.
and like and plus seeing a lot of different things in life. But then it's like, how dare Daily Dollar Short, fuck you, pay me, stop stealing all my shit. It's like, stop stealing the music, stop, like I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And
Yeah.
then yeah,
So when you
exoskeleton.
say that like stop stealing the music and stuff, are you saying like from a company's standpoint, or do you mean like artists who like to sample music and stuff like that? Because I know that there's
Nah,
always like a sample war in hip hop and stuff like that. That's part of hip hop culture.
nah. We love hip hop. We all do
Yeah.
hip hop. Like
Okay.
it ain't about. It's not. It's just always give the originators of music and the creators their credit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just give people their credit. Don't like,
Yeah.
don't put your name to stuff that you didn't do. Don't basically trace somebody's stuff and don't acknowledge that you got that influence from them because it's erasure. It's kind of like what Trump's doing now with like DEI, like just acting like this doesn't happen. Like, oh, we're gonna not talk about this, but it's wrong, and
Oh, it's
not because it's
super
just
wrong.
black culture, but culture in general. If you yeah, so if you were like, oh well, these people didn't contribute to this, and we're gonna act like they didn't exist, it's just foul. So I'm saying, and on a grander scheme, it's about that. And then the simplest thing is just like, yo, acknowledge people who doing their thing. You know?
Exactly. And I love that. I really love that
Yeah,
message. And thank you for clearing the air on that because I didn't know precisely, like how you said, you leave it open for everybody's interpretation of the music, right? And when I was listening to that, I didn't know if it was about hip hop
yeah,
itself or if it was about just people ripping things off and not, paying their dues and actually paying credit to those who actually deserve it. And
yeah.
you
No, but we
you
love.
summed it up
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
absolutely not. Never against hip hop. We love hip
No,
hop.
yeah,
We
hip
all,
hop's where it's
eh,
at. Yeah.
yeah, and we everybody in the music in the band are like we're all entrenched in hip hop. Like so, we'll never diss hip hop because hip hop's plays a big part of what we do. So,
Of course. And
absolutely,
I think that's a good transition for me to get into I think one of the more deeper tracks, at least for me, was Smoke
smoke
Clears.
clears.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you took the words from my mouth. For that intro there, who's speaking
yeah.
on that? Is that somebody you guys know, or is that like a
No, that
sample?
so. Uh, I forgot her name offhand, so
That's
pardon
okay.
me. But she's the oldest survivor of the Tulsa massacres in Greenwood, Tulsa, otherwise known as Black Wall Street. So
Yeah.
she's the oldest. She might have just passed away like last year, but she was like 103 years old.
God
So
bless.
yeah. So when
Yeah.
I was writing the lyrics, I always want to do everything to help paint the picture even more vivid and clearer. So the lyrics, we had the music, and I was like, oh, I was just, I'm always like mining for things, listening and speeches and everything. So I was like, oh, whoa, the oldest survivor. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to sample her and put her on the beginning of this song
Yeah.
because it
It's
gives more context to what we're saying.
Yeah, it
You know what I
really
mean?
it set the overall tone of what I was going to expect for the track, and it gave me goosebumps honestly because I definitely could
Ooh,
feel like there was pent up like rage and upset and
yeah,
just
yeah,
suffrage but all at the same time there's resilience and there's pride
Always.
and there's
Absolutely.
something more rooted in there where you're trying to rise up and say, hey, yeah, this shit happened to us, but now we're doing something a bit more and we're taking the stage and doing this now. So watch us lead,
Yeah.
step back, you know?
Yeah. It's acknowledging ancestral things and people who've sacrificed for us to be here, and at the same time it's kind of like, yes, there's always resilience, and then there's light. They're like, want the music always to be laced with light, not just like, obviously there's this rage and frustration and other aspects of emotions, but we always want to be like, yo, there's hopefulness. There's hopefulness. Like, this is built on a legacy of people who've accomplished great things, and we're continuing that legacy. So it's
That
like, no matter
legacy.
what you, yeah. So that's what the smoke. And plus, on another level, it's like, these are topics that are dear to our heart, that are not in the everyday lexicon, especially in heavier music. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Heavier music, people don't talk. It's just like, it's either just like whatever they're talking about. I don't want to get into what people are talking about, but it's just like, it's not in the everyday lexicon. So I always, especially with punk, it's like, if people are not talking about or saying what you like to hear, you become the change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You become the change. Like, I want to hear stuff about this representation. So you can't like continue to look at people and be mad that they're not representing what you want to hear, or sonically or
Yeah.
verbally. You gotta become it. If it's like, yo, I'm from, like, say, like, I'm from Florida and I want people to know about living in Florida at this time, but like, but no one's doing that. Well, you play,
Yeah.
right? Or you want to play. You need to do that.
Yeah.
If you're
You
capable,
you're
you need
finding
to
a new
become the change.
purpose. Yeah, you notice a void.
Yeah.
There's a void and a gap here. You see an opportunity and you say, "Hey, I think, instead of being mad about like why nobody else is doing it, you got to turn and look within and say, "Wait a minute, I should be the one doing that." And I like that
I mean,
idealism.
that's just kind of how I look at things. And I think punk is a great vehicle for that, because it's kind of like, you can just do it and obviously continue to get better at it. And I just think, like, after a while, complaining is not enough. You have to, like, you have to become the change.
You
And
have to
like, and
take action.
it's you have to, and sometimes it's easier said than done. But I think with music, as far as ideology and themes and stuff, if people will spend their months and years talking about, this band let me down, this band da, 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 da. I'm like, well, then make your own band.
Exactly.
Okay, like, I'm just like, no, I don't. Okay, then don't listen. Like, like, it doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's futile to me. It's like, you're gonna spend all this time and energy complaining about what you don't like about it. Stop listening to the stuff you don't like. Listen to the stuff you like. And if you feel like certain things are not being said, then you do it. You get some like-minded people and you become that. Like, I don't. That's just where I'm at with it. So that's why
I like
a
that.
song like that, a song like that. I mean, general, most of our stuff is like that. Like, it's just
Yeah.
stuff we like to hear. We enjoy the stuff we like. I write the stuff I like to write about, and I would like to hear. So, and
Yeah.
hopefully people enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and I definitely enjoyed the versatility of this record is just
Oh, thank you.
beyond. Like I really love like I was saying, Smoke Clears was a really deep track. I think it's the deepest track on the entire record.
Yeah.
It felt like it was touching a part of either your soul or a collection of y'all's souls on the same front of the issue. And I love everything that you guys said and did from the beginning of that
Mm-mm.
track of the sample all the way to the very last breath of you belting it
Right,
out and
right.
stuff. It's beautiful,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
beautiful track.
I
But
appreciate it.
I really appreciate other tracks as well that actually break up that sense and you say, let's have some cornbread and collard greens. Like you want to get
Sure.
funky with it, like you're just out there
Yeah,
having a
yeah,
good time. You're like, hey, you know what?
yeah.
Like you're passing around that brotherly love or that sisterly
Hmm.
love. You want to invite people in, have some cornbread and collard greens and stuff. Is that the
Yeah, yeah.
idealism of that song? Because that's what I kind of interpreted. And I put that on
I
my
mean,
Thanksgiving playlist. I'm just like, you know
I
what?
I
I
seen
like
that.
that.
That was dope. That was
Yeah.
dope. Um, Partially, it's like, most of us in the band grew up eating cornbread and collard greens. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of like, I grew up eating cornbread and collard greens. Even though I'm from New York, my father is from the South, and
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of us in the band, that was part of our, at least part of our dietary thing. And it's like it's soul food. Like, and then people, you're down south, so you might
Yeah.
eat cornbread. People are not, and
Yeah.
funk is a huge part of what we do, but it's not the only part. It's like,
No.
so it can't, it's everything's supposed to be like, we give our music to be like, every song we let it be a song. We let it be or a piece of a bigger puzzle. So like, we're not going to do an album where there's like 10 cornbread and collard greens on one record, or 10 smoke clears on one record,
Yeah.
or 10 pieces on one record, or 10 helps on one record. That's just not, I find that boring. You know what I mean? And we all do. It's kind of like, we know we can do more. So why would we do? But it's not even so thought out. It's not like we can't make another song like this. It's like, dude, we just don't do that. We just kind of be like, oh yeah, we're here right now. Oh, we're here right now. But it's natural because it's really who we are.
Yeah.
It's like our playlists and our lives are really like that. So it's kind of like, we listen to funk. Like, we really are into that. We really listen to hip hop. We really listen to metal. We really listen to punk. We really listen to hardcore and many and merengue and salsa. And we listen to, we're music people.
I was about to get to that next, because I think that's awesome, because you also have that in this world, I believe. Yeah, the world is.
Yeah, the world
Because I love
is.
that moment where it breaks away and it brings in bongos and stuff. And I mean, I didn't know how else to describe it. It just made me feel like a kangaroo bouncing around in a mosh pit, just like, hitting some salsa or whatever. It just sounds great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how you guys proclaim yourselves as like James Brown in a mosh pit, like it just sounds like it's wild, funky, crazy, and you don't know what to expect. It's just absolutely absurd, but there is a grounded sense of like,
sure,
yeah, like what you guys believe in these different genres. And I love that, you have this like meat and potatoes concept, but your genres that you're dabbling in is like sides. It's like side dishes. That's like what you're talking about,
Yeah, it's a full course meal, right?
Yes.
And
the album is.
Yes, our music is generally like our music, but definitely this album. We're talking about this album. So, like, the world is, me and Alcatraz are from the same neighborhood. We're from Corona, Queens. Even though I live in Brooklyn now, I'm from Corona, Queens. He's from Corona, Queens. We grew up down the block from each other, right? And he's Afro Latino. He's half, he's not Puerto Rican and Dominican, but Afro Latino. So he grew up listening to the salsa merengue. I grew up around it. So I grew up going to parties listening to merengue, salsa, bachata, and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's a real big part of our growing up. And plus just New York City people, like, we grew up in neighborhoods where it's like bachata's playing, merengue's playing, hip hop's playing, and then we, and funk's playing, and soul's playing. But then, we all have akin to metal and punk and hardcore and rock. And so you put all that stuff together in a blender, and this is really a part of your upbringing and what you like in your DNA. To me, it's natural to do that. It's natural because, first, we're not following a formula of trying to make the ultimate hardcore punk record. We're just like, we're making the best music we can make for the specific time that we're in. So like, the next album is not going to sound like this.
No.
Like, if you listen to our album before Ghost in the Shadow, it doesn't sound like, it sounds like us. It's not like we abandoned what we did, but it's like, we're not like, like I said, it's a natural progression. Everything is natural for us. We just like and enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we put it out. We're not confined to having a style, so to speak. Our base is they're a hardcore punk band, whatever. But it's like, it's so much more than that. Everyone who hears us knows it's much more than that. And the reason why James Brown and Mosh Pit was coined, because it was like, it's hard to always explain to people a million or just thousands of influences. You know, it's hard to tell people, "Whoa, we listen to Public Enemy, and we listen to this, and we listen to that, and this came," and they're like, "I can hear that." Well, we listen to that too, and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
I came up with, like, yeah, James Brown and Mosh Pit,
Yeah.
and it was like, because I felt like through the funkiest stuff is James Brown. James Brown is the creator of funk, and hip hop is a child of funk. You know what I mean? So
It
it's like
is.
all the funky beats, especially in the '90s, that was sampled. James Brown is one of the most sampled artists in hip hop. So inadvertently, that's the basis of hip hop. Is James Brown as a strong foundation, and so we still. We got hardcore in our music. We still got punk in our music. We still got metal in our music. So our music is not just, like just soulful and groovy. It's still got more of got a grit to it and a punch. So it's like, all right. And then, it's James Brown and Mosh Pit. And then the simple thing is like, my mind works like, if I heard someone sound like James Brown or Mosh Pit, I'd be like, I gotta check this shit out. What is this? What does that even sound like? That
Yes.
just sounds crazy. I gotta check that out. So that's another reason too that I came up with that. Like, yo, yeah, check it out. Like, and if hearing James Brown or Mosh Pit appeals to you, then you should definitely check us out. If it doesn't, you shouldn't. You know what I mean? But like, I want it's like the bat signal, like boom.
Yes.
James Brown Mosh Pit, like, oh
Rebelmatic. Yeah.
yeah, like James Brown Mosh Pit. What the
Yeah.
okay?
What the
Let me
hell?
see what this sounds like.
Which version of James
So
Brown am I getting? Cocaine James Brown or?
whoa, well, I just you get into soul
I
form
know. Yeah.
regardless. And
Yeah.
the thing too is that James Brown is groovy, is urgent, and plus to remember people to like he sings, but he screams too.
Yes.
So this like that's to
That
let people know.
iconic
Oh,
sound. Get up off that
yeah,
thing where he goes, ah! Oh yeah, he does
exactly,
that, and everybody samples it. Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So to hear, so this to let you know too. Oh, if it's James Brown. Also, there's going to be some screaming in there. It's
Hell
going to
yeah.
be intense. It's going to be groovy. And the mosh pit part, oh,
Yep.
okay. So it's like, so that's why. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it was coined. But yeah, it's real. It's reflective of what we do. I think it depicts when you hear our music that it makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I agree. I do. I like that analogy to describe Rebelmatic and stuff. It
Mhm.
definitely gives it a type of, it's like a play on words to describe the band. Like you're mixing
Yeah,
funk and violence, and you're like, what is this?
funkin' fire. I don't know about violence. I don't,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's some
Well,
real.
I
Yeah,
mean, moshing is a form of violence. It's more
it's
brotherly in the sense of like you'll pick somebody up if they fall down, but it's a form of aggression.
I I call it aggressive expression,
Yes.
and that's cathartic. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it's cathartic. Because the reality of unless you're doing spin kicks or crowd killing, you're not trying to
Yeah,
hurt nobody. You're just
exactly.
responding to how the music makes
To
you
the
feel.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what
The
violent. It could
reiterating it.
be violent, but I like to look at aggressive expression.
Yeah. And
That
I
I don't
love
want
that.
anyone to get. Yeah, I don't want anyone to get hurt off
And you
either.
definitely, I think, like for the James Brown sense, for your singing, when you
Hmm.
scream, your
Oh
screams are
yeah,
they pierce through me. Like when you're
yeah, I
doing,
appreciate it.
especially in the song Help, because you're like,
Oh yeah,
help. And it's like as soon as you like hit the help, like you're like, whoa,
oh
holy
yeah,
shit, this guy needs help. Or
yeah,
like, oh man, I feel it. I feel it. Like somebody give this man a
urgency.
hand. Yeah, the urgency. And it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But
Thank you.
let me ask you, I know we're short on time,
No, we
but
got about 10 minutes. We good.
yeah,
We
yeah.
good.
I'm keeping track. I'm keeping track of time.
No, you're good.
But
You're
we
good.
got so I wanted to ask you, how did the coin how did you guys like coin up the name Black Hole Eats the Tornado?
My
Because
son, my son came up with it.
your son came up with it. Wow, that's so cool. Did he like have how did
No,
he
he
like
came
come up
up.
with that
He,
idea?
he, he came up he's 13 now. He came up when he was 6.
Yeah.
We've been had this title, so he
Oh,
was.
this
Yeah,
has been in your
he's
back
like
pocket.
I. I got a bunch of stuff in my back pocket. Yeah, it's
Hey,
always.
okay. Keep them
It's
guessing. Keep
always.
them guessing.
Oh no, it's just so. Bit quick backstory before about this album. So our album Ghosts in the Shadows. My daughter came up with that title. Our
Mm.
EP Eat the Monster. My son came up with that title. they came up with those like when they were 6 or 4, like young. So Black Hole Eats the Tornado, he was taking a bath and he was young and he's like, I'm like, all right, go take a bath. And he's like, oh, come in here with me. I'm like, dude, you're too, I don't need to be in there taking, we'll just stay, like sit on, like, sit on the toilet while, and close the thing while I take a bath. I'm like, all right, cool, dude, hurry up. Like, you don't need me here. And, after he takes a bath, all that stuff comes out, and then we're like, I'm taking them home because they live with their mother in New Jersey. So I was just kind of, all right, cool, yeah, dude. And he's just like, yeah, daddy, Black Hole Eats the Tornado. I said, what? What did you say? He said, Black Hole Eats the Tornado. And I was just like, where did that come from? Where's that from? No, I just made it up. I was like, what? And then, of course, I looked online, like, it's Black Hole. Oh, shit, you just made that up. What the fuck? And our mind was just like, that's crazy. What does that even mean? And I made it mean something else. But for him, his meaning was, like, I made it mean, like, within chaos, we still gonna, like, the world was a big, like, all right, so the tornado could come and destroy everything, but the black hole is bigger than it all, right? So you still find a way to navigate. That's why you see the picture of the sister Louisa Jenkins with a cigarette. It's like all this shit's going on. She's still like, okay, and like we still gotta survive. We still gotta navigate. Yep. But his initial coming up with it was, so in the tub, right? Yeah. When the water comes, it's like when you let the water out the tub, right?
Yeah. And it has it has like a vortice.
Yeah, and the water's spinning. Yeah. And he's like, that's how he came. He goes, see, it's like the black holes are there and the tornadoes when the water. I was like, yo.
You're like, son, you just cooked up the best title I've ever heard in my life.
Oh no, he's done it. They do that. He did. Yeah. My daughter did it too, and he got like 2 more in the pocket for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like I'm like, come up with a title. It's like we're just hanging out, we're just doing stuff, and he'll say something like, "What? What'd you say?" He's like, I said, whoa, hold up, let me think about it. That's crazy, and that's kind of how it came. So yeah, shout out to my son Hannibal. He came up with that. Shout out to
Hannibal. That was a great title.
Yeah. People. I would call him today and tell him. I'm like, people are like, yo, they love the title. He'd be like, oh, cool, that's all right. Yeah. And it's because he came up with it when he's super young. Now he's like older, and it's crazy because he's into like black holes and physics and all this crazy stuff. So it's interesting. He came out with that when he was really young. Yeah, but yeah.
It's kind of like his subconscious just speaking out earlier, and it's kind of like what they say is like when you have a kid, you kind of like relive being a kid again because you hear them say like the darnest things and things that you like are so used to seeing all the time, and you won't like make these weird analogies or these things because you just see it all the time. You're just like, oh, I see this every day, or this isn't a weird phenomenon to me. But to a kid, it's just like, it's brand new to them. And they're like, wow, this black hole is eating this tornado. And to you, you're like, what? Like, what the hell did you just say, dude?
Genius. Yeah. It's genius. And it's just kind of like, plus it adds to the distinctiveness, right? Because it's the innocence of the title, and obviously me making it have different, more like expounding on the meaning. But it's like, I know this is not a generic title. This is not a title that you're gonna be like, oh, some other band came. Like, if you come up with our titles, you stole them from us. That's just it. Whether I came up with it, like whether it was like early titles I've come up with, or because it's never like the majority of our titles are titles that are just like, they're very uniquely ours. They're not titles that it's like, oh, anyone come. No, you can't. Yeah, it's not, and not to be like on an ego tip. It's like they're very distinct. Mm-hmm. So yeah, shout out to him.
They're genuine. They're
and my daughter too. Shout out to Adira.
Yeah,
one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adira because she came up with a Ghost in the Shadows, and people were tripping off of that. Like, that's a dope title. I'm like, she came up with that, so they got to get their credit for it.
Yes, they definitely get the credit. So what is something you still want to experiment with musically for your next album that you're looking at, or have you guys even thought of the next record yet?
I mean, we got an EP that's already done.
Oh,
We got a
okay,
five.
yeah,
We got
we're
a we
ready.
got a five. So we got a 5 song EP that's mixed, mastered, artwork done already.
Damn,
So
you guys are
yeah,
cooking. You straight
yeah,
have the next meal lined up for everybody to enjoy.
yeah. It's already done, and we've already been playing like 3 songs from it live, and we'll probably stop for a minute so we can just play most more songs from the album. But yeah,
Yeah,
the next EP's done, and we already got enough ideas and stuff for the next album after that.
that's huge. That's really
Yeah,
dope.
we got a bunch of stuff. We got like, but the next project is done. It's already done. Like I don't mean
It's in
like,
the
oh, we
books.
got to go like mix, mastered, recorded, mixed, mastered, artwork done. Not like we were still recording. It's finished. You know what I
Nice.
mean? And then it's just like shoot visuals and stuff. But we're already starting to work on the one after that.
Yeah.
You know,
And
we already
I
got
love that. I
ideas.
love the music video for Peace, by the way. I thought that music video
Oh
was very lively and fun. I like how you took a lot of influences from New York City itself, from
yeah, New York
surrounding
City's the
areas.
background.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
had like a lot of action, almost kind of like, I don't know if you've played the video game Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but it felt like I was
I'm on
watching.
to
Yeah, I feel like I was watching like a scene from that video game or whatever, and you had like the extreme sports people like on the BMXs
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
a
yeah.
skateboard
It's dope
guy like at the NYC Bronson skate park and stuff like that.
for
It's really
sure, for
cool.
sure.
So
So
I
the
love the
Tony,
energy.
thank you. So the Tony Hawk, you said that. So a quick backstory. Tony Hawk Underground, I think it is. I want him Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
So I rhymes too. I rhyme, not I rhymes. I rhyme as well. So
yeah,
I'm on a friend of mine's. I'm on a Tony Hawk game. Long short.
really.
Uh, yeah, my boy Rob Sonic's song called Sniper Picnic. I rhyme on there. So
Yeah.
I think it's this like 20 years ago. But yeah, so Tony Hawk. Yeah, we need to get some Rebelmatic on Tony Hawk and all these video games.
I
Our music
agree.
is
I,
meant
I
for
felt like Peace was a Tony Hawk
absolutely
title, honestly, that could totally be on the game. So
for
you'll have to
sure.
definitely hit them up and see if you can get it on the next cycle of games because I know that they're about to release Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. So and they're
No, no,
releasing like the tracks for those.
I
Yeah,
seen it, and it was a dope list. Besides us not being on it, but yeah, it was
agreed.
dope.
I feel
I
like you
mean,
guys definitely you're shoehorned in there. I feel like it could happen. It would be really good.
we're gonna keep the energy going, and hopefully it'll happen. Yep.
Definitely. So looking ahead, like you guys have a lot of tours, like shows and
hmm
stuff coming up. What are you looking forward to most while being on tour?
Spreading the word, connecting with more people, selling merch. The same old. Just bringing the energy, bringing some good energy to people, connecting with people. As far as shows specifically, we're looking forward to all of them. But I mean,
Hell
we're
yeah.
playing the Green Bay. We're playing Green Bay the Draft Music Festival with
Yes,
Less Than Jake and the Jizza. So we're
that's a
looking
huge
forward to
one.
that.
What
Yeah, that's
about
gonna be.
in Punksylvania? I think that's
Yeah,
another big
can't.
one for y'all too.
Yeah. Camp Pennsylvania is gonna be a big one. We're playing with a bunch of, I think on the same stage with like Fear and the Vandals and Murphy's Law and I
That's
think it's
huge.
Morgan. Yeah.
That's
So
gonna be a
that
really
one,
fun time.
yeah, and then we're playing this Metal Wana Festival
Hmm.
in New York with a Slayer and Metallica tribute band. And we're playing Punk Island. Um, we got a lot of stuff going on, dude.
Yeah,
We
you
got like
do.
our stuff is like, April's pretty much packed. May is packed. June is pretty much packed, and then July we got a couple things in July. Playing festivals, and we're playing I think it's cathedral, not cathedral, something of the dogs in the Cortland, New York. I forgot. I don't want to misquote it. Cartel, not cartel, cardio. I don't remember the first name, but yeah, we're playing a festival up there. But yeah, I'm excited about all of it. But if I just had to be honest and fair, probably the bigger ones, obviously the Draft Day Festival, we're really excited about, and the Camp Pennsylvania one we're really excited about. But everything, everyone, everywhere people show up, we're gonna give 100%. That's all we know how to do. We're gonna leave it on the floor and connect with people and spread the word, and just
Right on.
promote this record.
Definitely. And I feel like you're more than ready to go.
Oh yeah,
It's
dude.
ready, it's starting this Saturday. You're going to be hitting the road. So
Yeah, that's light.
hope
That's
everybody
ready.
gets out and checks you out, and it's definitely a good
Yeah,
vibe and bring all the, well-deserved praise that you guys deserve.
I
So it's
appreciate it.
huge.
I
But
thank
yeah,
you.
Creech, I appreciate all your time, though. Thank you so much for
Appreciate
being
it.
here on the Crispy Reviews podcast and navigating all these technical issues and stuff that we had first off.
It's
But
life.
that's life. Yes, sir. We got to, weather the storm, be bigger than the black hole or be the black hole that swallows the tornado.
That's it.
That's the
Eats the
mindset.
tornado.
Yes.
Eats the tornado. We are the black hole that eats the tornado. We don't want to
Yes.
be bigger than a black hole because we're all a part of it. But like, we
Yeah.
definitely don't want to be the tornado, just tearing stuff up aimlessly. And a quick note: we
Sure.
got caught in a tornado last year on tour
Oh
in
my God.
Kansas.
No
But it
way.
was ironic. I was like, yo, this is crazy. We're getting caught in a tornado. Our album's called Black Hole. It's a tornado. It can't end like this.
Yeah.
This is not how it's supposed to end. This is crazy.
That's
It
a
was some
deep cut.
scary.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
scary. It was scary stuff, but it was, it's in Kansas. It was
Yeah.
in Kansas.
Tornado
So yeah,
Alley. That's insane.
I love it. I lived through it, and I can say I actually been through a tornado, and
Jesus. I'm
the
glad that
power
you're
of
alive and you're still
words.
here.
Ah, yeah, the album want to be here. We want to be having a conversation. It was meant to be, you
For
know.
sure. Well, Creature, thank you so much. And we'll
Thank
see
you,
you.
Cody.
I'll
I
see you in the future.
absolutely appreciate you, man.
Thank you.